Mom coach Christine St. Ville started her business after she experienced stress and depression as a result of lack of rest. Now she helps other moms set boundaries and get rid of guilt for connecting to the rest that moms need. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you.
Tell us about your business. That's unique. I like unique businesses.
Well, thank you. Moms in Charge is basically a business I started out of a need that I had for myself. So what I do is I help moms recharge. I help them rediscover and reconnect with the person that they were before they became the frazzled, the frustrated, and the overwhelmed mom.
And so the overriding things.
Exactly.
Okay, now go back to those first three words that you said. You help them do what?
Rediscover.
Stop right there.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. I want to be rediscovered, girl.
Yes. So a lot of times what happens when you're a mom, a new mom, or even a mom that has older children, you really forget what it was that you enjoyed doing before you had the mom title.
I forgot my dreams before I had the mom's title.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was going to be Diana Ross or somebody, right?
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. So you forget about that once the babies come.
Honey, the husband and baby, I don't even know who she is anymore. Okay.
And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what the reconnecting is. Okay. Is reconnecting with who you were before you became a mom.
Do you have assessments or ways that, Deb, jump in if you want to, that anybody can read? I like that, how they can rediscover themselves, their identity.
Yeah. A lot of times it's just I have a exercise that I do with some of my clients, and it's when they really don't know what they want to do, it's taking time to sit down. What are the things that make you happy? Realizing what makes you happy, what made you happy before you became a mom, and really just trying to get back to those things, because that's part of rediscovering who you were. That's part of, not losing yourself.
Okay, and that's good. Okay, what's that next big word you had?
The other big word we had recharge.
Recharge.
So you talked about that a little bit earlier in the show, and that's extremely important to learn how to recharge. Because as you know, being a mom, you get so overwhelmed, you get frustrated, you're in this mode of constant movement all the time that you forget to stop and recharge. It's like a battery needs to recharge. Your cell phone dies.
I like the yellow
your
cell phone dies.
Yes.
I love recharge.
Right. So when your cell phone dies, you have to plug it back up, or it's not going to work.
Yeah,
and so
absolutely.
It's the same concept with your body and with yourself.
Yeah, I remember there was a young lady who, way back when I was a human resources director, and I was talking to this young lady, and she says, "Honey, I'm like a computer. At some point, I just shut down." I thought that was so cute. She just shut it down. She didn't answer the phone. People who knew her know that this was her day, and it was like crash. Computer just crashed.
Yes.
And that's what you mean by...
Yeah, that's what my Saturday is. When I take that Saturday off, I'm not answering the phone, I'm not returning an email, I'm doing nothing. I'm not cooking, I'm not cleaning.
I love it.
I know the house is dirty, it's going to stay dirty.
It's going to stay, but I'm off. Yes, exactly. And you'll take care of it.
That's good.
We'll get to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll get to it. And that takes me to the place of women and moms who think that we have to have it all done.
All the time.
Oh, I like that. And all the time.
Yeah.
They should come to my house.
Yes, right, mine too. And a lot of that stems from the mom guilt. That's where the mom guilt comes in, because they feel like I should be doing X, Y, and Z, or they compare themselves, like you mentioned earlier, to the mom next door. Well, she's able to do all of this thing, but you don't know what her story is. You don't know what help she's getting. You don't know what she's going through. So you can't compare yourself.
I like that because we had a show earlier and they talked about how wives and moms look in different cultures, and our responsibilities in our marriages and to our marriages sometimes look totally different.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And so how can you possibly compare yourself when the circumstances are so different?
And speaking of cultures, I'm first generation American. My parents are from Uganda, so that cultural thing plays a huge role as well. So growing up, I'm looking at what other kids did versus what we were allowed to do, but it was a huge culture change, and so you really have to be mindful of that. You don't know what their situation is, so that also plays a big role too, and just understanding you can't compare yourself to someone else. You have to do what works for you, like Deborah said earlier.
Deborah said that earlier,
Yes.
and the good news about that is we deal with all women from all cultures, and we do have to realize that we have to do what works for us and not be ashamed of that.
Yeah.
You know, not
Yeah.
be embarrassed if I just didn't get to wash all the dishes before I went to
Exactly.
bed last night. One of my
Exactly.
girlfriends would die if she heard me say that. But anyway.
And some will, but guess what? That's what works for them, and
Yeah.
it may not be what works for you. Maybe not doing the dishes means you get to spend some time reading a book you didn't get to open. You know, so it's a trade-off. What
So
works
what do
for
you say, Deb, self-care? How do you take care of yourself? I mean, she deals with women and teaching them how to reconnect and recharge and, you know, kick into self-care. But what about you? How do you, Saturdays, we know, girl, your Saturday
Yes.
is all about self-care. You know what I mean? But is there a spa day? Is there, is that separate than your rest day? Or does your rest day change?
I find ways throughout my day continually. For example, one of the new things that I like to do is drive in the car with nothing on. No radio, no gospel station, no news, nothing.
Yes.
And I love just
Silence.
having that peace, just
Yeah,
that
that's
silence.
good. That's good.
It's
That's good.
refreshing to me, and I find myself just calm down because we live in a society where every minute is structured, every minute is programmed, and there's a
Absolutely.
timetable for everything, and you lose your own rhythm.
That's what she's
And
talking
so
about,
I
losing your
find-
own
yes.
rhythm, and you find
Exactly.
yourself dancing to somebody else's
Yes,
beat. And
exactly.
when you go back to find your rhythm, you can't
You
even
don't
do
even
it.
know where it is. You lost it. It's gone.
I love it, I love it, I love it.
It's gone.
One of the things that really takes me in a state of rest is rain. When I hear the rain, it just kind of calms me. Yeah, it's very calming. It calms me down and allows me to just be in a grateful place and just does all of those things that is just simply unbelievable. So, well, we've got lots more to say about this quest for rest. We'll be right back.